Welcome back to a quick chat in the Cadillac Season 2. My name is SG. I like to explore the simplicity of complexity. If you don't know, this is my show where I break it down for you both real and quick. Season 2 is out now. You gotta go check the YouTube, or you can find full episodes here on TikTok scattered about. But YouTube is where it's all nice and organized. So Season 1 will help you get better. Season 2 is gonna teach you exactly how to do that. So why don't you go watch Season 2 with full effect? Let's go. SG Bubba K. Anyways, my good friend, this is what you need to do, okay? Listen close, because today's topic is going to be about them folks that smile in your face, and all the while they won't take your place. BackStabbas. BackStabbas. Alright, anyways, if you don't know, that's an excellent song by the OJs that was also flipped by 3-6 Mafia, so check both of those out. However, we're not here to talk music today. We're talking about backstabbers. And the thing about backstabbers is you always gonna have them. And typically they come from the people who, quote unquote, you would expect it to happen least from. But not really the case. Once you've had your back stabbed at least once, and you know, people closest to you are the only ones in proximity. Those people who say they got your back, they're the only ones who can see your back exposed so that they can stab it with a knife. And here's my thing. Look, you got to become the kind of individual who can be backstabbed so that backstabbing doesn't hurt you. But, let's look at it like this. What you want to do is become so strong that being stabbed in the back is like acupuncture. I don't think I said that word right. Acupuncture. It's like a little poke with the needle that gets your muscles right, and resets your nervous system. Like, oh, yeah, okay, I feel that again. You know what I mean? That's how you want to treat backstabbers. And sometimes, the other thing is you got to put it in perspective. Some betrayals ain't even about you. It's about somebody else entirely. Like, if a motherfucker running around swinging a knife and you just happen to be letting them stand behind you, yeah, they gonna stab you in the back. It doesn't matter if you're their friend or not. They swinging a fucking knife. But there is the little bit of disappointment that comes with it, right? Like, oh, I trusted this person. I put my faith and belief and hope into this person, and they just turn around and stab me in the back. But here's the thing. A lot of y'all be running around with friends, family members, people in your life that just not shit. And you know they not shit. And even if it's a little bit not shit or a lot not shit, you know they not shit. So if you feel like, oh, they do this to everyone else, they wouldn't do it to me, you're wrong. They do it to everybody. Okay, people are creatures of habit. They gonna do the shit that they do. Now let's take a pause. Let's take a break. People grow. People change. I understand that, and people make progress as well. That's a beautiful thing to see happen, especially in real time. But what you shouldn't do is be surprised when you know someone who has a tendency to stab people in the back stabs you in the back. It just is what it is. It comes with it's part of the program. You should have read the manual. Because if you would have read the manual, you wouldn't be so surprised now. Instead, you would be what they call prepared. And it's always better to be prepared than surprised. Unless it's your birthday. And for another thing, man, you have to let people be who you know they are. Okay, it's not fair for you to hold someone to an expectation that they don't even hold themselves to, and then be upset that they don't meet it, because they're not even interested in meeting it in the first place. Let me give you a common and real-world example. Let's say that you are in love with a very feisty woman. Okay, you're in love with this very feisty woman, and she like to get a little bit, the homegirl, domestic violence. She a little domestic violence. And you heard, she told you a couple times she done stabbed some of her exes in the heat of the moment. Just grab a kitchen knife and bow. Just hit them one time with a little quick poke. All right, now, you get into a heated argument in the kitchen, near proximity of knives, and she poke your ass. Are you going to sit here and be like, oh my God, the bitch poked me? No, you shouldn't be, at least. In shock. I'm sure you'll be in shock at first. But it's going to happen. She told you it happened before, and you put yourself in a situation where it was perfectly placed to happen. Now, there's plenty of men out here who have had that literal experience, and then, they still love the woman at the end of the day. So they get over it eventually. It's just like a fun story that they tell, even though they got fucking stabbed. Same thing with backstabbers. Alright, if you see somebody who backstabbed a couple folks or has a nature that's backstabby a little bit, then that's them. Alright, you either got to deal with it or not. And sometimes people just be wilding out a little bit. Just be honest with you. It happens to the best of us. And shit, I'd be willing to bet it happened to the rest of us too. I mean, I know I've crashed out a couple times on a couple occasions. All right, so, maybe I'm not a backstabber, but a front stabber, I don't know how much that is better. I guess you could see a front stabber coming, but then if you actually get stabbed, shit, it might hurt a little bit more. It might make you feel a little weaker. The reason I even bring this up today is because, you experience it. And some backstabs is with sometimes people backstab you with the toothpick. Sometimes people backstab you with the machete. Right? It's different. It's levels to this shit, just like anything else. And for you to sit here and play the victim in the case that you're being backstabbed, when you turn your back on somebody in the first place, when you expose your weakness or, something like that to somebody in the first place, that's on you, family. Now the important question with backstabbers, especially once it happened, is, are you going to leave yourself open again to be stabbed in the back or not? Right? Are you going to close off? And we talked about this, like with trauma, with healing. Closing off is an option, but it's not necessarily a good one. Maybe it keeps you safe, but also makes you hollow. Nobody wants to run around here being the hollow man. So that's why I was talking about earlier. You just got to come to the point where being stabbed in the back feel like acupuncture. Damn it, I said it wrong again. But essentially, you had to be so good at healing, so good at bouncing back, dealing with life as it comes and goes, because it always will, that when you get stabbed in the back, it's not a big deal. Maybe you were halfway expecting it, but it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, you still got shit to do. You still got a purpose to accomplish and a mission and journey and path to walk. Plus, quite frankly, God will sort them out. Whether they did stab you with the toothpick or they stabbed you with the machete, God's going to sort them out. So whatever you believe in, the source is going to sort them out. At the end of the day, shit's got a balance. Universal law. Now, there's a lot of questions that could come about once you get stabbed in the back. The dumbest one is why. That's the one you're going to waste your time on. Why stab me in the back? Because they decided to. They chose to. It was in their nature to. It is what it is. The question why doesn't actually get you any further. So that's the first question that you need to discard. There's no value in that answer. Okay, but what you really need to ask is, how do I handle this next? All right, first things first, you need to make sure you're good. Whether that means you got to pat your ass up at the emergency room or throw a little Band-Aid on it and keep it pushing, that's up to you to decide and depends on the size of the wound. The more important question is, do I continue to leave my back exposed? Now, if you ask me my personal advice, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I'd say, hell no. Close yourself off and get the fuck up out of there. Right now, I say, it depends on the situation. Depends on the person doing the stabbing, and depends how hard they stab you. But I like to think of myself as a strong young gentleman. So, it's going to take you're going to have to hit me with a machete in the back for me to be real, some type of real upset. Not literally. You better not bring your ass over here and try to fucking stab me in the back for real. I'm not playing about that shit, okay? That example I used earlier, that was for cute game shit. I ain't doing that shit. But figuratively speaking, you gotta hit me with the machete for me to be like super surprised and be like, oh wow. I'm completely shocked by this. I halfway expect pretty much anyone who walks into my life to at least hit me with a toothpick every now and then in the back. It's fine. Maybe not. Maybe that's a poor expectation to have for people. But, it's happened enough to where I'm just like, yeah, it's kind of part of the game. But handling backstabbers, even though it's not easy all the time, it does get easier. It does, when you sort of develop like an armor, and not an armor that leaves you completely exposed, but also not an armor that shuts you off from the rest of the world, you understand pain, being stabbed in the back. It's just part of the process. And sometimes the forgiveness that you give to someone when they stab you in the back will be the very foundation that you use to build a stronger relationship with that person moving forward. Sometimes it's an invitation for them to go and find that machete because the motherfucking toothpick ain't work. But that's a case-by-case basis. And one thing I'm not is a caseworker. I'm just a personality on the internet. So, peace out. That's all I got to say for you today. If you got stabbed in the back sometime recently, or you plan on getting stabbed in the back in the future, now you know how to handle it, pretty much. Or at least you have some guidance. All right, peace.